There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday night to everyone who is still up. Toneman says, I am, hey, everyone who shows up. JJ says, I am here. Oh, hold on. I'm having a little technical difficulties and also got me on my night off. Cool, cool, cool. So let's get right into it. Let me share my screen. I should have done this ahead of time. My bad. I don't know why it always does that when I share screen. It automatically puts me in the little bubble until I change the orientation on it. How is everyone feeling? This is Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through, although tomorrow is Juneteenth. So hopefully you got the day off or you're taking the day off because I think we should all rest on Juneteenth. Ricky is in the house. She says, hey, 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 Ricky, I'm glad you are here. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of this. I'm going to start with, I guess you wouldn't call it box office news because it's not technically box office, more VOD or on demand news. But according to Screen Rant, Blumhouse's 181 mega hit horror movie surges on Netflix's global charts ahead of its sequel release. Now, this is very interesting and kind of important because typically in the past, Netflix has not told us what their numbers are. Like, not in depth. Usually, they don't tell us literally what their numbers are. So, this is a step forward. Ricky says, I just got home from an evening walk. I have tomorrow off. Great, 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 great. And JJ says, Cubs game got rained out. Glad you're here. Thanks. Oh, Tony says, not me. I'm about to do some lawn stuff. You're not about to do some lawn stuff at 10 o'clock at night, Tony Man. But I think you should get your sports channel started because JJ's talking about the Cubs game, which I don't know about, but I know you know about the Cubs game. Ricky says Netflix is usually shady about their numbers. Yes. Let me see here. So it says Blumhouse smash hit horror film from 2022 is rocketing up the Netflix charts, just in time for the release of the highly anticipated sequel. Ricky also says, I'm still upset about Julie and the Phantoms. Yeah, I heard that was really, really good and that they prematurely canceled it. I need to check it out. I have not gotten a chance to watch it though, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Let's see. Founded in 2000 by Jason Blum, Blumhouse has produced a myriad of films in its 2.5 decades, but the studio has become synonymous with horror thanks to franchises like Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and The Purge. Besides delivering strong horror films on the regular, Blumhouse can also be counted on to have its fair share of box office hits, as their films tend to have lower budgets and can turn a bigger profit compared to other Hollywood movies. Now, more than 2 years after the film's 181 million box office run, Blumhouse's Megan is working its way up the streaming charts on Netflix. For the week of June 2nd through June 8th, the tongue-in-cheek horror flick reached number 4 on the overall global chart, while landing in the top 10 in over 20 countries. Megan is a streaming smash in many of the Caribbean and Latin American countries. Oh, well, I wouldn't have thought that, but yeah, that's fun to know. Okay, and even peaked at second place in Mexico. The film beat out popular Spanish language films as well as streaming stalwarts like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The global top 5 for June through 8 includes at number 5, Nonas. At number 4 is Megan. Number 3, B Movie. Number 2, Now You See Me. And oh gosh, this is just going to encourage him. The number 1 movie on Netflix is Tyler Perry's Straw. And I almost want to shed a tear because out of frustration, you're going to keep encouraging this man. I'm sorry. We just were talking about him on the stream about disturbing movies. We took it's my fault. I took a detour into Tyler Perry. And Jen's reviews from the graves made an excellent point. She was saying how she admired him for what he's been able to do as far as building his own studio and also giving jobs. I think Monty mentioned uh, him hiring. Oh, it was either Monty or Jen that mentioned him hiring Sinbad after Sinbad had a stroke. So yeah, for that I absolutely credit uh, Tyler Perry for building that studio, for making sure that Black actors, as they age, still get work and are paid fairly, because a lot of times they're underpaid. But it's him and his script writing that I have an issue with. You have the studio that's glorious. You have the actors that's beautiful. You can hire Black writers as well, and other Black directors, because you are now in a position where you can be the studio head. So you hire other Black directors and Black writers, and then I think there'll be more variety in your work. But again, there's a market. Straw is #1 on Netflix, so I might as well just shut the hell up, because clearly people like it. People like it. There's nothing I can say. If people like it, you're gonna keep making it. I mean, hey. Ricky says, I didn't realize that Megan made its way to Netflix. I watched it on either Paramount Plus or Peacock. Can't remember which. That is Baseball Talk in the comments. Tony Man says we need to stop with the Mr. Chocolate love. He's into some shit allegedly. Yeah, I did hear about the allegations. I did not get a chance to read them, so I'm that's why I'm not talking about it, because I feel like we should normalize not talking about things you don't know enough information about. It's easy to do. Say, you know what? I didn't read about that yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. I heard there were allegations. I heard that there is a lawsuit. I will wait until I read about it before I have an opinion. Kal-El is here. They send their love. Thank you, Kal-El. Shall we get into the next story? Because I think, oh no, there's more. There's more. Okay. It says, considering how many nations are clamoring to rewatch Megan, that bodes well for the sequel coming later in June 2025. Not only does it mean that the upcoming Megan 2.0 is looking to be a financial success in theaters, but it also proves that Blumhouse's horror films have tremendous staying power in the age of streaming. While not as financially advantageous, a streaming hit is hard to come by, as more and more content is put on platforms each week. With Megan still drawing huge audiences, the killer AI doll could stick around for more movies in the future. Okay, and then it goes into our take on Megan's streaming success. Oh, that's a good point. JJ says, Lady Shasha, they made 1 million Sharknado movies. They did. And Kal-El says, either they don't know, don't show, or really don't care. Oh, Boys in the Hood reference. Yes, Doughboy. Mm-hmm. Okay, our take on Megan's streaming success. It's still one of Blumhouse's best releases. Let me scroll down to the other pictures, because I like these stills from the movie. There they are. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I'm not surprised that Megan is a hit on Netflix. The horror films tend to draw in plenty of curious viewers anyway. Add in the fact that Megan is actually a good movie, and Blumhouse has found a recipe for box office and streaming success. The studio may have produced a lot of box office smashes in its history, but Megan is unique because it is a quality work with clear franchise potential. The oddball direction of Megan 2.0 is exactly what the franchise needs, and Blumhouse may be leaning into the character's meme potential. Says here the budget for Megan was $12 million. The box office take was 181 million. That's huge. I'm going to repeat that. The budget was 12 million and the box office was 181 million. That's immensely successful. The Rotten Tomatoes critic score is 93%, while the audience score is 78%. That's interesting that the critic score was higher than the audience score. And the runtime is 82 minutes, which is really good. The director is Gerald Johnstone. I think it's pronounced Johnstone. Have you guys in the chat seen Megan? What did you think of it? Tony Man is already... wait, here we go. Kal-El says, I don't know why that came up when you said that. Tony Man says, I think Megan was overrated. Horror Cat Dad says Megan was overrated, Tony. So you guys, I enjoyed it. I really love Megan. I think the second one is going to be horrible. Hopefully we get free tickets because I never paid to see Robot Lady Gaga. I enjoyed Megan for what it was. Like I said in my review, it kind of reminded me of Deadly Friend. If you remember Wes Craven's Deadly Friend, that's what Megan kind of reminded me of at times. And I think it's I would also include it in gateway horror or like slumber party horror, as I like to call it. The kids, the babies, they need something to watch too. We're old. We are hardened. It takes more to get us going. But if I were a 10-year-old little girl at a slumber party watching Megan, I would have a great time. And I think that's good for the kids. Kal-El says, though Megan was surprisingly good, the human character wasn't likable in my opinion. Can't wait to see part 2, aka Terminator 2 with dolls. Yes, that's what it's giving. It's giving Terminator 2. Tony Man says, Deadly Friend did not suck. I disagree with you. I love Deadly Friend. We will have to disagree on that one. Kal-El says, Deadly Friend basketball friend. LOL. Yeah, that was a great scene. The Horror Cat Dad says, Deadly Friend I enjoyed a lot. And also, hey, Cal. Tony says, yeah, Kai, she had a crazy chest pass. I get it. I get it. The basketball scene. Okay. Cal says basketball scene, autocorrect. Okay, is there any? Yeah, that's the end of that. So let's move on to our next story. We're going to get into some Predator stuff for a little while because I have like 3 pieces that are back to back about Predator, and I just want to talk about it because it's a lot of fun. This is from comicbook.com. And actually, let me take a sip because I feel like my throat is going to dry. Fun fact, I put a little, is it called VSOP? Yeah, I think my sister had like a liquor in the kitchen. I think it said VSOP on it. I put it in my coffee. I did that because I know that I'm drinking coffee and I don't, I'm doing the stream later and it's like a trick for my mind because I'm drinking decaf, by the way. But I put the VSOP in it so that when I get off the stream, I can go right to bed. Because right now, as I'm talking to you guys, it's going to keep me awake and I'm going to feel very stimulated. And then it's going to be very difficult for me to fall asleep. So I put yeah, Tony Man, that's what it is. It's Hennessy VSOP. I put that in my coffee so that when I get off the stream, that I'll probably feel sleepy. And I don't have to get up early tomorrow. Kal-El says, question, why is Megan more loved than Child's Play remake? Though so similar. I think it's because Chucky has such a fan base, which I'm included in, that I think they didn't give the remake much of a chance because they love the original Chucky so much and they love Brad Dourif's voice. Even though I think Mark Hamill did a great job in the Child's Play remake. I actually liked the Child's Play remake. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I did a review on Child's Play and on both the original and the remake. The remake, I think people just didn't give it a shot because they love Chucky so much. But the remake was actually a pretty decent movie. The one thing I didn't like about the remake is the doll design. I feel like they could have designed a better looking doll for the remake. I felt like the design was kind of odd, but I get it because the doll kind of resembles Mark Hamill when you really look at him. Who also, by the way, did a great Joker. I think Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker in some of the Batman animated movies. So Mark Hamill is a great voice actor in addition to being Luke Skywalker. But I think the Child's Play remake was a decent movie. Check out my review for it. Yes. JJ says, I'm drinking Budweiser. Cool, cool, cool. Budweiser is the type of drink I feel this way about Budweiser and about what's the one you put the lime in? Corona. The colder they are, the better they taste to me. Especially if it's a very light beer, the light amber color beer. The colder they are, the better they taste. I don't like the dark lagers. I just don't have a taste for the darker the beer, I don't like the taste of it at all. I just never developed a taste for that. Someone says that shit's nasty. Puts hair on your chest though. Are you talking about the Budweiser or the Hennessy? Kal-El says Chucky is my fave. Actually, Child's Play 1 is my favorite horror movie. That remake didn't bother me. It was really decent. That's what I'm saying. Because I went into the remake really expecting to not like it, and I was pleasantly surprised with what they did. I really enjoyed it. Someone says, and the Joker in the Batman video games too. Oh, I didn't know he voiced the Joker in the video games. Cool. All right, let's get into this Predator stuff, because hopefully you guys have seen Predator Killer of Killers. It came out on, I believe, June 6th on Hulu, and it's really good. It's an anthology. It has 3 parts and a wraparound story, sort of, and it's animated, and I really liked it. It makes use of some of the stories that were in the Predator comic books and possibly unused screenplays. Okay, so this says, the Predator franchise's most famous Easter egg. Oh, I should say spoiler alert. Maybe I should put a banner at the bottom while I'm talking about this. Let me edit this spoiler alert. I still have the one from when I talked about Friday the 13th. So we will put in Predator just in case. And I'll take the banner down when I finish talking about Predator Killer of Killers, if anyone doesn't want to be spoiled. There we go. Put that at the bottom. Make sure I don't have any typos. This broadcast will include spoilers. Yeah, I do have a typer. I knew I would have a typo. Let's fix that typo. This broadcast will include spoilers for Predator Killer of Killers, and possibly I'm going to put Predator and Predator 2. Yeah, just to be on the safe side. JJ says he drinks them warm. You drink warm beer? Are you from Europe or the UK, JJ? Because I understand that they drink beer warm in Europe. Haven't seen it, but I'm all in for Prey. Prey is really good as well. And there's an Easter egg from Prey in Killer of Killers. I don't know if that's what this article is about because I have not pre-read this article. Okay, what did I say? This is from comicbook.com, and the title is The Predator franchise's most famous Easter egg returns in Killer of Killers. Predator Killer of Killers includes a surprise appearance by the franchise's famed Easter egg, expanding lore in a big way. This is written by Brad Curran. Of course, they put warning, this post contains major spoilers. All right, Predator Killer of Killers is a sprawling, interlocking anthology tale that also manages to bring the Predator franchise's most classic Easter egg into the story. Oh, while I read this, can anyone guess what that Easter egg might be? Let's see. Killer of Killers focuses on a trio of human warriors. Viking leader Ursa, voiced by Lindsay Lavanchi, Master Ninja Kenji, voiced by Louis Ozawa, and World War II era U.S. Navy pilot Torres, voiced by Rick Gonzalez, and the respective battles with a predator hunter within their respective epochs. Killer of Killers devotees, why did I read that like that? Killer of Killers devotes one section of the film to each of its human protagonists before bringing all of them together in a final showdown in a predator arena light years away from Earth. As an animated anthology and a franchise appetizer to this year's theatrical Predator movie, Predator Badlands, Killer of Killers takes viewers through several before I continue that, let's go back to that sentence. And as an animated anthology and a franchise appetizer to this year's theatrical Predator movie, Predator Badlands, that makes me think of how Marvel does things as of late, how they will produce TV series for Disney Plus, and then when the movies come out, there's certain elements from the TV series that inform the movies. I wonder if they're doing this also with Predator Killer of Killers, because they say here that the anthology is an appetizer to the theatrical Predator Badlands. But will there be like things that reference each other? Okay, JJ says that because I asked earlier if they were from Europe, they said I'm from Massachusetts. Technically, I am too, JJ. I was born in Massachusetts, but raised in Connecticut. Doc Kaiju is here. They say hi, fam. And also, I am in Massachusetts too. I'm on the Rhode Island border in Fall River. Oh, cool. Doc Kaiju says I have a Budweiser and a Heineken after work, but I prefer them cold. Same. JJ is in New Bedford. Doc Kaiju says small world. Tony Man says, hey, Doc, I know the spoiler. I'd be cheating if I say. JJ says, I do not. The Horror Cat Dad says, wouldn't be surprised. They're owned by Disney. This is true. Good catch. I'm glad you mentioned that. Hulu is owned by Disney now. I forgot about that. Okay, now let me get back to my place here. As an animated anthology and a franchise appetizer to this year's theatrical Predator movie, Predator Badlands, Killer of Killers takes viewers through several exhilarating stories while also building upon the Predator mythos in numerous ways, including officially canonizing the Predator species name. Additionally, Killer of Killers also includes a surprise Easter egg deeply rooted in the Predator series, the famed flintlock pistol, previously seen in Predator 2 and Prey. I wonder if anyone knows the Predator species name. I know it, but I want to see if you guys know it. If you watched our stream last Thursday, which we had a couple special guests, the horror miser Monty and Marty from Trash Picture Show, who Marty is a Predator, I would say, expert. And he talked to us about the Predator species and how to pronounce the name. But I'll see if anyone knows this. It'll come up in this article, though. Flintlock Pistol's appearance in Predator Killer of Killers Explained. In the fourth and final segment of Killer of Killers, the movie's three human warriors, Ursa, Kenji, and Torres, find themselves brought out of cryogenic stasis and forced to battle to the death in a Yautja gladiatorial arena, with the winner facing the highest-ranking Predator warrior. In interest of a balanced fight, the Predators present each of the three humans with a weapon of their individual tribe. There we go. Ursa and Kenji are respectively granted an axe and a katana, while Torres receives a far more modest tool of combat in the form of the flintlock pistol, featured in the underrated, I'm glad they wrote that, they wrote underrated, in the underrated Predator 2, and later seen in Prey. In terms of the gladiatorial showdown, the flintlock pistol has a minimal role in the actual fight, with Torres trying to load the archaic firearm with powder and a pellet, but never gets a chance to fire a round. Nonetheless, the flintlock pistol's presence ties Killer of Killers in directly with both Predator 2 and Prey. Doc says, oh, great show. Thank you. And Tony Man says, that's why my mom won't ever get Hulu. She has a beef with Disney now. JJ says, I don't do streaming services other than Tubi. Tubi is great. The Horror Cat Dad knew. It's the Yautja. That's the Predator species name is Yautja. And Tony says, ugly motherfucker. Okay. Anything else? Okay, flintlock pistol's history. Let me scroll down because they do have a close-up picture of the flintlock pistol. This is how it appears in the animated movie. It looks like this, but in Predator 2, no, this is not I don't think this is the image from Predator 2. This might be the image from Prey, because there's a difference. There's some little difference on the gun. I can't remember what it is. It might be a different name or the year, but they don't match. If you find an image of the gun from Predator 2 and an image of the gun from Prey, they're slightly different. Okay. The flintlock pistol was first seen in the final showdown of Predator 2 right after Detective Mike Kerrigan, played by Danny Glover, successfully slays the sequel's Predator warrior inside the trophy room of the Yautja ship. Moments later, Harrigan finds himself surrounded by several other Predators, but as he prepares to fight them with an exhausted, okay, who's next? The predators carry their fallen comrade away. Meanwhile, the elder predator shows respect for Harrigan's skill in battle by tossing him the flintlock pistol and saying, "Take it," as a token of his victory. Also proving that the predators speak English and not just mimic. Because a lot of times we see them mimic, like the, "Do you want some candy?" Like the mimic, but the "take it," that didn't feel like it was mimic. That felt like they were actually talking. The horror cat that said that image is from Predator 2. And also at the end when Glover gets it from Greyback. Antonio says, "You have a photo with the flintlock pistol. I think it's in my slideshow I gave you." Yes. Where was I? All right. Prey brought the flintlock pistol back into the Predator franchise by going back to the weapon's original era, the year 1719. The movie's Comanche warrior Naru, played by Amber Midthunder, has a dual conflict with both the feral predator Yautja and some vicious French fur trappers pillaging the American Great Plains region. Prey gives Nehru an ally in the pistol's original owner and the fur trapper's English interpreter, Ralph Adolini, played by Bennett Taylor. Following a campsite battle with the feral predator, the wounded Adolini gives Nehru his flintlock pistol while she treats his wounds. With centuries of separation occurring between the flintlock pistol's 3 appearances in the Predator franchise, there's plenty of room to theorize how it eventually made its way into Killer of Killers. And the movie provides at least a partial answer to that question. And there's another picture here with one of the characters holding it. This is the characters in the 3rd story in the Predator Killer of Killers. It says here, "How did the flintlock pistol make it into Killer of Killers, and will it be seen again?" The end credit scene in Killer of Killers shows a comatose Nehru as one of many human warriors kept in cryostasis by the Yautja, presumably with the intent for her to eventually be thawed out and battle other humans in the gladiatorial arena, theoretically in Prey 2. This heavily suggests that Prey's cave painting style end credits, alluding to a new Yautja ship's arrival at the Comanches' encampment, is when Naru was abducted and placed into cryostasis. In turn, the predators presumably confiscated the flintlock pistol from her in order for it to be utilized by human fighters thrown into the Yautja gladiatorial games. However, this also leaves a big gap in how the flintlock pistol eventually finds its way to Mike Harrigan in Predator 2. Theoretically, after Torres, that's who's pictured here in this cartoon still, theoretically, after Torres and Kenji escape on a commandeered predator ship, Ursa sacrificing her freedom to give them a chance to get away, the flintlock pistol could have been recycled as a weapon wielded by another human in the Yautja gladiatorial battles. You know what would be cool? What if in Predator Badlands, you see Torres and Kenji, but in their live action like form? That would be kind of cool. I would be really down for that. Thank you for reminding people, Doc Kaiju. Yes, please like the stream. Okay, where did I leave off? However, this warrior may not have been as fortunate as Torres, being forced to fight an elder predator and presumably losing with the elder predator, then taking the flintlock pistol as a trophy of his victory, before eventually passing it on to Mike Harrigan. Then again, with no definitive time frame given from when Torres was abducted in the 1940s and when he was thawed out to enter the arena, Killer of Killers could take place well beyond the 1997 time frame of Predator 2 and closer to the futuristic setting of Badlands. Given how long Ursa and Kenji are in cryostasis, the final segment of Killer of Killers could plausibly take place anywhere from a few days to several centuries after Torres was beamed up. This opens the possibility that the flintlock pistol has been traded amongst humans and predators multiple times throughout the Predator franchise's timeline. At any rate, the uses of the flintlock pistol in Predator Killer of Killers is an Easter egg of the most tantalizing sort, one whose presence answers some questions while raising plenty of others. And of course, Predator Killer of Killers is now streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus. And Predator Badlands will be released in theaters on November 7th. Do you think they released this too early? The Killer of Killers? Since that doesn't come out until November, do you think it would have been better if they released Killer of Killers in August or September so that there wouldn't be such a long time in between? I'm wondering that. I wonder if they released it early thinking, oh, it'll pick up steam as the summer progresses, or why they released it so early. All right, that is that on that. We'll go on to the next one, which also concerns Predator. Hopefully it's not redundant. Because this one is also about well, this was more about Predator 2, so maybe it won't be a redundant article. This is by Screen Rant. It's written by Sean S. Lialos. The headline is Why the Predators Gave Harrigan the Pistol After Killing the City Hunter in Predator 2. Well, we kind of know why. It's kind of as like respecting him as a hunter. I that's what I got from it. Is that what you guys got from it? Because that's what I got from it. But that said, I will read the article to see if there's more context that I am missing. In Predator 2, the Predators gave Detective Harrigan a flintlock pistol after he killed the city hunter. But it was unclear why this happened. Directed by Stephen Hopkins, Predator 2 was the sequel to the incredibly successful Predator. But it made a few changes to the franchise. It moved the action from the jungles to the city, had regular cops battle the alien invader instead of special ops soldiers, and then showed a little more of the honor code that predators live by when they start to hunt. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the stream. Jonathan Gray says, I think the timing is right. Plus, they were able to do a lot to capture your interest in the animation. This is true. I will repeat what I said on my Predator stream, because last Thursday we did a super stream, like over 2 hours, about the Predator franchise, including Killer of Killers. And we also talked about some predictions that we had for Predator Badlands. And I said that when I first started playing Killer of Killers on television, I was looking at my phone because I didn't expect it to be all that great, because when it first started, the animation style reminded me of cutscenes from video games, and it's my understanding that it's animated in a similar fashion. But it was so engaging that I put my phone down. Like after the first minute or two, I put my phone down. It was that engaging. So yeah, I agree with Jonathan on that. JJ says, kind of like you saw in Alien versus Predator when Sonya Lathan got that mark on her face from the Predator. Yes, I agree. All right. The article continues. It is that honor code that came into play in Predator 2, in the Predator 2 ending, where Danny Glover's detective Mike Harrigan killed the city hunter and then received a gift from the group of predators that remained hidden watching the hunt. After Hannigan killed the city hunter predator with its own disc, the other predators showed up to retrieve its body, and an elder predator gave Harrigan a flintlock pistol as a trophy. This is all because of the Yautja code these aliens live by. The next part, and I'm going to scroll up so you can see a cool picture of Danny Glover. Who, by the way, I think I'm officially older than Danny Glover was when he was in this movie. That's funny to think of. Actually, I should Google it. Hold on. How old was Danny Glover when he was in Predator 2? Yeah, he was 44 years old. I'm older than Danny Glover was in Predator 2. Woo! Oh, shoot, it closed. I accidentally closed out my thing. I got to reopen it and get back to the spot where I was. There we go. Okay, the elder predator gave Harrigan the flintlock pistol as a trophy for killing the city hunter in Predator 2. The gun was a gift of honor via the Yautja code. Okay, let's see what context or extra information they give us, because I think we kind of knew that. Like, it was implied. Like, when you see the movie, it's implied. I don't think it needs to be explained. So I'm trying to figure out why they wrote this article. maybe for people who didn't see Predator 2, but I'm still going to go with it and see what else they have to say. There's one huge difference between the aliens in the Predator franchise and the xenomorphs from Alien. The Predator hunters all live by a code of honor known as the Yautja Code. This code exists because the Predators consider their hunts to be sacred, and they refuse to take an easy way out. If prey ends up unable to defend themselves, the Predators will not kill them. In Predator 2, the city hunter didn't kill Leona after learning she was pregnant. The Yautja Code is simply that the Predators will seek out the strongest prey and gain them as a trophy. The more dangerous their prey, the greater the glory and honor of the hunt and kill. There is no honor in killing the weak. When the Predators kill someone or something, they take a trophy as the reward. When Harrigan killed the city hunter, he ended up triumphant, and therefore he deserved the trophy, which was the flintlock pistol. Now we get into Nehru. Prey confirms the origin of the antique pistol that the Predators had in Predator 2. A French trapper gave the gun to Nehru. Now, this article is a little bit redundant of the one we previously just read, but it is delving more into Yautja culture, so I will continue. Prey is a prequel for the Predator franchise, taking place in 1719. This is possibly one of the first times that humans encountered a predator species. The film follows a young Comanche warrior named Nehru, played by Amber Midthunder. Nehru, who dreams of becoming a great hunter, sees the predator and, assuming it is a large animal, starts tracking it with her fellow hunters. This doesn't work out well, and most of her fellow hunters die. However, when French trappers show up and kidnap Nehru and other Comanche warriors to use as bait, the predator arrives and starts tearing through them as well. Hold on, let me move for a hot. Okay. It is at this point that Nehru escapes, and an injured trapper gives her the flintlock pistol to use against the predator. She eventually defeats the alien invader, and Nehru returns to camp. After painting the predator's green blood on her face, she becomes the new war chief, the flintlock pistol still in her possession as a prize. So here's the question that was presented. When she got the pistol back, the article asks, how did the sequel get the pistol? We now know because somehow they came back and took Nehru and put her in cryostasis. JJ says, so am I, as in being older than Danny Glover in Predator 2. JJ says they are 45. Mm-hmm. It's wild. We are older than when Danny Glover said, I'm too old for this shit in Lethal Weapon. How did the Predators in the sequel get the flintlock pistol? Obviously, it says the Predators captured Nehru after Prey. That's how they got it. Okay, what do they have to add to that? Originally, the story of how the flintlock pistol ended up with the Predators was found in the Dark Horse Comics comic book series. In this story, Raphael Adolini is a pirate captain, and his crew comes into contact with a predator outside of Africa. When the predator kills his crew, Adolini gives his flintlock pistol to the alien as he dies. This is how they got it for Predator 2, at least in the 90s telling of the story. This has all been changed since Prey was released. See, I didn't know about that part in the comic book. I'll repeat it again, that Adolini's character was a pirate captain instead of a French fur trapper, and he gifted the flintlock pistol to the Predators as he was passing away in the original comics. JJ says, getting too old for this shit, Lethal Weapon. Jonathan Gray says, I believe this is an opportunity to put all the survivors in an animated movie. This is true. I'd like to see an animated Danny Glover. That'd be interesting. And let him still voice it too if he's up to the task. Okay. This is where the new Predators animated movie shows what happened to Nehru and how the Predators got the flintlock pistol. In Predators Killer of Killers, Do they have a copy of the comic? I think this might be the cover. Is this the cover of the comic? No, that's the cover for Predator 2. I'll still show it. I'll show the cover for Predator 2 because it looks cool. I thought it was the cover for one of the comics, but it's not. Okay, this is where the new Predators animated movie shows what happened to Nehru and how the Predators got the flintlock pistol. And Predators, killer of killers, Ursa sacrificed herself so her allies can escape. However, the Predators do not kill her, but capture her and place her in a chamber in suspended animation. That is when the movie shows another chamber, and Nehru is in this one. It is unclear how they captured her or why, but this shows how they got the flintlock pistol to give to Harrigan in Predator 2. And that's where it ends. It just shows that the poster artwork for Predator 2, that it was originally released in November 21st of 1990. It's a runtime of 108 minutes, which is long for a sci-fi action horror movie, but it doesn't feel that long when you watch it. And it's directed by Stephen Hopkins, of course, starring Danny Glover with second top billed Gary Busey. But there's lots. It's a stacked cast. Maria Conchita Alonso is in it. Bill Paxton. I had to remember whether it was Paxton or Pullman because I get those two confused. Bill Paxton is in it, and I've said in my other stream, Bill Paxton has the distinguished honor of having been killed by a predator, a Terminator, and an alien. Kudos to him. Tony Man says, I am older than Archie Bunker, George Jefferson, and James Evans, as well as Wilfred Brimley in Cocoon. Yeah. Jonathan Gray says, damn, Kevin Hart voice. I'm sorry, LOL. I don't know if that is meant to be for Tony Man for being older than Archie Bunker. Yeah, people in their 40s and 50s don't look how they used to look. I mean, I think I'm only 2 years younger than Rue McClanahan was in the first year of the Golden Girls. That's crazy. Let's move on. Let's see if this third piece about Predator gives us some more. And then I'm getting out of the Predator thing. I'm sorry, I just saw these stories about Predator and I was like, I have to cover these because there might be some interesting bits. We did learn one thing. We learned about the comic book, the original story that became Prey from the comic book. I wish they would have talked more about the stories that became Killer Killers because the one with Kenji, the story with Kenji, I remember hearing about for years that they were going to make a Predator that took place in feudal Japan. And that segment of Predator Killer of Killers does take place in, am I saying it right? It's feudal, not Edo. I get my periods of Japan mixed up. It's either the feudal period or the Edo period, but I'm pretty sure it's the feudal period of Japan. But either way, that segment in Killer Killers, amazing. Great segment. The segment that takes place during the Viking times, also great work. Oh my God, that was great. I think the one that I liked the least is the one that took place during World War II. Though it was good. It wasn't a bad segment. It's just compared to the other two, it wasn't my favorite. All right, so we're back to comicbook.com, and this article is called A Major Piece of Predator Lore is Finally Made Canon in Hulu's New Movie. This is written by Kofi Outlaw. Shout out to you, Kofi. And it says the Predator franchise has been a sci-fi horror standout since 1987, and yet most fans still don't know the answer to a major question about the franchise lore. What is the actual name of the Predator species? You wrote a whole article about them being called the Yautja. I hope this is not a whole article just about them being called the Yautja. I digress. The battle-hardened aliens have previously appeared in 5 of their franchise films as well as 2 crossover films with the xenomorphs of Alien. But unfortunately, no one has survived long enough or gotten close enough to the alien hunters or their technology to learn all that much about their nature and origins. It's only in Hulu's new animated film, Predator Killer of Killers, that we finally get the long-awaited name drop of the species at the center of the Predator movies, the Yautja. The story of Predator Killer of Killers follows 3 warriors from, okay, I already said that earlier, so I'm not going to repeat that. However, the opening sequence of Killer of Killers includes a title card that conveys the philosophy of the predator race as they search the galaxy for worth prey. And here's the quote that comes on the screen. That's the first thing you see when you watch Killer of Killers. Quote, "Go forth among the stars and seek only the strongest prey. They shall be your trophy. Become the killer of killers." And then it says Yaucha Codex 052274. I don't know what the numbers represent, but that's what it says. Okay. The Predator's name has been revealed before, which we know from the comic book series. Okay. That inscription is the first time we've seen the name of the alien race and Predator appear on screen. However, it is not at all the first time we've seen the name appear, as it's been floating around the lore for a few years now. The first time it is credited as being used in the 1994 novel Alien vs. Predator, Prey, by S.D. Perry and Steve Perry, which was a spin-off of the 1990s Aliens vs. Predator comic series by Dark Horse. In that book, the Predators refer to themselves as Yaucha, often pronounced Yacha or Yaucha. And the term then began to circulate within novelizations that offered long-form stories from the Predator's perspective, as well as within sites and forums where hardcore fans discussed and or compiled the franchise lore. With the Disney-Fox merger in 2019, which we just mentioned, someone in here mentioned Hulu being bought by Disney, but I forgot about Fox as well, merging with Disney. With the Disney-Fox merger in 2019, Predator began a new run of 2020 comic book series through Marvel Comics. Beginning in 2022, the different anthology-style comic story arcs have expanded the franchise lore in a big way, including cementing the species name, Yaucha, as part of the... Well, which do you guys prefer? Because they did give two different pronunciations. Yacha and Yaucha. I like Yaucha, but do y'all prefer Yacha or Yaucha? And I'll put the spelling up on the screen so you could see it. Let's see. This right here. You gotta tell me what pronunciation you prefer. Okay. Okay. Including cementing the species name Yaucha as part of the official franchise canon. That said, comics are, like novelizations, a second, if not third tier of a major franchise IP. And so the vast majority of Predator movie fans haven't ever encountered the official species name until they start streaming Killer of Killers. Jonathan Gray says, do you think Alien Earth will have any Predator references? Seems interesting. All are coming out this year. I'm going to say possibly, because already, if you look closely at the Predator Badlands trailer, and shout out to Marty from Trash Picture Show for pointing this out, when, I forget the young lady's name, the actress that's playing on Predator Badlands, when her eyes blank out to white, when you zoom in, you can see Weyland Yutani on her eyes. So if there's a Aliens reference in Predator Badlands, it stands to reason that Alien Earth will also have a Predator references. JJ says the second one, Yaucha. Tommy says, I just like hearing you say either. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, here. So I'm going to scroll up so you can see another image they have here from the animated movie. Do you guys like this animation style? It kind of lends itself to, like I said, not in the movements, because the movement is very, very fluid. Let me not say movement. At first, it looked like video game cutscenes to me, but when it's still like this, it looks hand-drawn or painted. Like you would almost see brush strokes in it. You guys like how this looks, or how do you feel about the look of the animation style? Okay, one of the animated anthology's co-directors, Dan Trachtenberg, also directed the hit Predator sequel film Prey in 2022. It's clear that Trachtenberg has a vested interest in expanding the lore of the Yautja through the cinematic format. In fact, the filmmaker is about to take that mission forward by leaps and bounds, and his next franchise project, Predator Badlands, which opens in theaters in November. That film will make a Yautja hunter the protagonist of the story for the first time, which makes it no coincidence that Killer of Killers is establishing the alien species name before that live-action feature hits theaters. And thanks to the connective threads between Prey, Killer of Killers, and some other major Predator films of the past, Trachtenberg is weaving. Trachtenberg is weaving a larger saga that could soon make Predator one of the great franchise universes there. Yeah, that's a typo. It says one of the great franchise universes there is. I would have written it one of the greatest franchise universes there is. Yeah, that greatest sounds better to me. And of course, and it's saying again that where you can stream Predator Killer of Killers, which is Hulu, and Predator Badlands will be in theater November 7th. Are you guys excited about seeing Predator Badlands? Have you seen Killer of Killers? Let me know in the comments. And that includes those of you that are watching the replay. I do read the comments that are posted after the live stream, so please consider commenting as well. Mr. Dan is in the house. How are you, Mr. Dan? He says, hey, Shasha, I did like the animation style. Very, very cool. Tony Man says, during our stream, someone mentioned that it was drawn and then run through a computer to animate it. That's why it looks like that. I think it was Marty or Monty. Yes, they did. One of them did. I can't remember who mentioned it, but yes. And it does look like that. It has that hand-drawn note. It kind of reminds me of, oh gosh, it was, in the 80s. I think it was the 80s. It might have been the 70s, and I watched it replayed in the 80s. But do you remember the Hobbit animated movie? It kind of felt hand-drawn, like not as simple as the Hobbit looked, but there's something about it that reminded me of the Hobbit from the 80s, the animation style. Probably just the fact of the hand-drawing aspects of it. Okay, so we are done with Predator for the night. Let's get into some upcoming horror. There is a new movie I didn't know about at all, but it stars Barbara Crampton. Let me check and see, does this have a trailer? Because if it has a trailer embedded, I will... No, these are still images. No trailer, just still images. So I will read from here. This comes courtesy of Bloody Disgusting, written by John Squires. And it's titled Teacher's Pet. Barbara Crampton and Luke Barnett star in high school thriller. All right. Horror legend Barbara Crampton from Reanimator, Suitable Flesh. She was also, they never mentioned this movie, but From Beyond. Barbara Crampton was in From Beyond, and it was pretty good. She also was recently in Little Bites. She had a very small role, but she was there. Okay, so horror legend Barbara Crampton is back in the upcoming thriller Teacher's Pet from director Noam Kroll. And a gallery of first look images have arrived ahead of the film's premiere at Dances with Films later this month. Luke, is this part of it? Yeah, Luke Barnett from Dark Winds and The Crossing Over, Sarah Tomko from Resident Alien, Drew Powell from Gotham, Michelle Torian and Kevin Makeley from Young Rock also star in this upcoming Teacher's Pet, alongside Clayton Royal Johnson from Stranger Things, Alex Ann Godin and Richard Hadley from The Black String, and Alexis Dautine. Hopefully I didn't butcher those names. Teacher's Pet follows, actually, let me scroll down so you guys can see some of the images while I'm reading here. Here's the first three, and then I'll scroll a little bit more in a moment. Teacher's Pet follows a gifted high school senior, Michelle Torian, whose charismatic new teacher, Luke Barnett, offers an escape from her turbulent life. But as the year progresses, it quickly becomes apparent his help comes with a price. Director Noam Kroll has made a name for himself as the leading voice in independent cinema and the do-it-yourself filmmaking movement. And the do-it-yourself filmmaking movement. His podcast, Show Don't Tell. That's a good name for a film podcast because it's kind of like one of the tenets of film, Show Don't Tell. Where was I? His podcast, Show Don't Tell, Top 3 in Filmmaking, has featured interviews from filmmakers like Tom DeLonge, or is it DeLonge? Yeah, DeLonge, from Blink 182, David F. Sandberg from Shazam, and Larry Kazanoff from Terminator 2, and hundreds more. Each month, his inspirational filmmaking content reaches over 500,000 filmmakers across a variety of channels, including his acclaimed blog, podcast, and newsletters. Now scroll up because there's a few more images here. Let's look at that. Okay. Launch Releasing's founder and CEO Sheldon Brigman produces Teacher's Pet with Handley, Kroll, Kaylee Fortin, and Brian Hansen. Barnett, Brigman, Kelby Thwaites, and Charles Bunce are executive producers. Stay tuned for more, including the film's trailer soon. So these are the first still images that we get from the film, which is called Teacher's Pet again. Let me hop over to IMDb and see if they wrote up like a description or a synopsis. Let's see here. Teacher's Pet 2025. Is this the correct one? Let me look at the cast. No, this is a different Teacher's Pet. They may not have a... I don't see... Let's see, movies. Yeah, they don't have a listing for it yet. So there's not a description other than what was here. And let me go scroll back up again. They said it. Teacher's Pet follows a gifted high school senior whose charismatic new teacher offers an escape from her turbulent life. But as the year progresses, it quickly becomes apparent his help comes with a price. So that's all we know. And these are some of the images. I don't know. What do we think? It's not much to go on. What do we think? I like Barbara Crampton. It says that this is a thriller, I believe, right? Let me go back up. Yeah, thriller. I like thrillers. So that is that. That's an upcoming movie. And it does not have a release date yet. So we just know it's coming out sometime in 2025. All right, on to our next story. This is another thriller, which, by the way, I do cover on my channel. I know I'm mostly horror, but I also cover thriller and sci-fi. I know I've been slacking on my sci-fi. I have to get way, way back into my sci-fi. All right, this is also courtesy of Bloody Disgusting and written by John Squires. Gritty crime thriller In Cold Light starring Micah Monroe finds home at Saban Films. Now, Saban, there was something else they recently released, and I remember asking you guys whether that's the same Saban Films from Japan that also did the Power Rangers, and the consensus was yes. But I can't remember what that other film was. Another American film they recently had like a trailer or something. Foaming Latte is here. How are you tonight? She says, oh, Lord, what is she going to do? Ask for her soul? What is he going to do? Ask for her soul in payment? Who knows? Because it's a thriller, it could be like one of those like Fatal Attraction type things, or what's another one that's good? Fear with Mark Wahlberg, like that type of thing where, you know, you started out friendly and now you're kind of scary. JJ says anything Barbara Crampton is in is worth a watch. Yeah, I think she picks pretty good projects. Okay, so this says from French-Canadian director Maxime Giraud, or Giraud, I think it's probably Giraud, yeah. Felix and Mira, Micah Monroe from It Follows, and Troy Kotzer from Coda star in the film In Cold Light, which has been acquired by Saban Films ahead of its premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival this coming weekend. In Cold Light will be getting a U.S. theatrical release next year from Saban Films. Deadline reports this afternoon. Helen Hunt also stars in the upcoming gritty crime thriller. The site details In Cold Light is set in a fractured city where loyalty is currency and violence speaks loudest, following Ava, Micah Monroe, who's newly released from prison and ready to reclaim her territory until she witnesses a brutal crime that forces her to run. Hunted by enemies and haunted by her past, Ava is pulled into a desperate fight for survival. Saban co-presidents Jonathan Saban and Shannon Becker said, Micah Monroe is a star of the highest order. Her talents are on full display in this electrifying thriller. Surrounded by Academy Award winners Helen Hunt and Troy Kotsur, In Cold Light is a tour de force on every level. Patrick Whistler wrote the screenplay. That's a very short and sweet. I do like Micah Monroe. I liked her in It Follows. There was something else she was in, and I can't recall what it was. No, I'm gonna just take a moment and look on IMDb because it's gonna bug me until I figure out what other movie it was in. Micah, how do you spell O-N? There she is. Longlegs, that's what it was. I thought she did a good job in Longlegs. Even though I didn't love the movie. Oh, see, I should have just waited. JJ came up with it, Longlegs. Yeah. Even though I didn't love the movie Longlegs, I liked her in it. And here's why I didn't love Longlegs. I felt like the first 30 minutes of Longlegs, excellent. I mean, the suspense, the creepiness, the atmosphere. Oh my God, it was so good. It was tense. Like you were, my body was tensed watching Longlegs. And then they brought in Nicolas Cage, and it just drained all of the suspense out of the movie because he was too goofy looking to be creepy or scary. It just didn't work. Tony Man says American Beauty type story, maybe Jawbreaker vibes. I could see that. And he also says not horror, but did you see the Gen V season trailer yet? I have not. I do consider Gen V to be a little bit horror. I consider The Boys to be horror. It's superhero horror, but it's kind of horrific, the stuff that you see in that. All right, let me see what I have up next. We have some more Irish folk horror. I don't know if you've seen Free Waka. That is on Shudder, and there was another one. I forget the title of it. I'll find it. Irish horror movies released in 2025, and I'll find the title of the other one. I know it translates as The Ghost. No, Free Walker keeps coming up, but where's the other one? There it is. I have to look up the pronunciation of it. A-N A-N-T-I-B. How do we pronounce this? Pronunciation. Okay, it says the word is Irish language is pronounced with a slightly modified V sound in the first syllable. Tiv. And a sh sound on the second. So it's on Vish. It's spelled Taibhse, and it means ghost. It's in Gaelic, but it's pronounced what it's spelled on. Know what? I'm going to type it in. I'm going to type it into the chat so you guys can see, so you know where to look for it. It's an Irish folk horror. It's on BHSE. The Ghost. That one is coming out soon, and the other one is Free Waka, which is a Irish folk horror. So I'll type it in the chat so you guys can see that, because the next story is also listed as Irish folk horror. All right, let's get into that. It is called The Twin. This is Bloody Disgusting, written by Megan Navarro. Okay, and does it have a... No, I don't see a trailer. No, just ads. Okay. Did I click on the right one? Why does it look different there than here? No, okay, I got it. Sorry about that. You ever pull up something on a computer, you pull it on the computer and you pull it up on your phone, and it looks slightly different, so then you get thrown off. All right, so writer-director J.C. Dolar's directorial debut, the Irish folklore horror film The Twin, has been picked up by Vertical for North American release next month. The Twin releases on July 1st, 2025. The horror movie stars Logan Donovan from Colony Magnum PI and Robert Longstreet from Midnight Mass and The Fall of House of Usher, which is great. If you have not seen The Fall of the House of Usher, I watched that twice straight through. There's only like a couple miniseries, or I guess I would call them miniseries, that I've watched on Netflix more than one time. The top one is The Glory. I watched The Glory twice over, and the second one is The Fall of the House of Usher. I watched that twice over. It's really good. Both of them really good. I would highly recommend them. And Alexa Palladino from The Irishman and the Penguin. The film synopsis, quote, after the tragic loss of his son, Nicholas struggles with his grief and a strained relationship with his wife, Charlie. Under the watch of psychiatrist Dr. Beaumont, Nicholas begins experiencing terrifying visions of a shadowy figure that looks like himself. As reality unravels, Nicholas must confront his past and the supernatural force haunting him before it consumes him completely. That sounds interesting, because I kind of like, well, it could be one of those, is it in his head or is it real type of movies? Those can go back and forth. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. Shutter Island, kind of decent. What are other movies where it's is it all in their head or is it real? I'm trying to think of the first one that came to my mind was just Shutter Island. It's all I can remember, but I know there's others. Okay. Dolar co-wrote this screenplay alongside with Paul Peterson, based on a story by Dolar, Taylor Bracewell, and Chris Allen Evans. The film, previously titled The Fetch, was the winner of Best Screenplay at the 2021 Screamfest. The film had world premiered at the 2024 Austin Film Festival and won the Audience Award for Dark Matters feature. Quote, after such a long journey, I'm incredibly proud to finally share The Twin with horror audiences everywhere, shared Dolar. It's a story about the things we try to bury that somehow find a way to dig themselves out. Thank you, JJ. That's another one, Gothica. That's another one. Although I don't feel like Gothica. I think it was presented as if it was all in her head, but I still kind of don't think it was all in her head. Quote, JC's atmospheric direction paired with Logan's haunted and physically impressive performance has resulted in a deeply chilling story that horror fans will love. We look forward to presenting the film to North American audiences this summer. Added Vertical SVP of Acquisition, Tony Piandozzi. The film was produced by Logan Donovan, Alexander Jeffrey, Paul Peterson, Brittany Fallow, Chris Allen Evans, and J.C. Dolar, and executive produced by Jamie Schwarzenberg, Andrew Schwarzenberg, Ben Holger, Fuchs, I think, and Tamara Corley Davis. Dolar was also editor on the film. Says additional below-the-line talent includes Joel Froome from A Chance Encounter, production designer Reese Rourke, hashtag Chad Gets the Axe, and costume designer Taylor Bracewell from Fast, with casting by Steven Tyler O'Connor from Hidden Canyons, and music by, oh, this is a different one. Zaviad Mgebri. I hope I didn't butcher that. I tried. Vegetable garden in the conflict zone is what Zaviad Mgebri. I think it's Mgebri. But yeah, so the twin will be coming out in July. Oh, that's a good one, Fominky Latte. A Tale of Two Sisters. That is an excellent one. See, that's the oops, I'm hitting the microphone. That's the one I should have thought of. Yeah, that's a great one for films that, isn't in their head. High Tension, yes, JJ. Yes. High Tension's another one. That's what's the one with the twins where they had the mask, little boys that had the mask, and their mother had just went through like facial reconstructive surgery after a car accident. Was that called The Other or something like that? Oh, that's gonna bug me. I remember the trailer was so creepy, and then I remember the trailer went viral because it was so creepy. Is it called The Other? No, not The Others. What was that called? Somebody's got to know the movie I'm talking about. It had two little boys, and one of them kept on saying, "That's not our mother," because they didn't believe. You know what? Let me ask Google. That's what it was, Tony Man. Thank you. Was it? Oh, not Goodbye, Mommy. Was it Good Night, Mommy? I think it was Good Night, Mommy. Let me see. I feel like it might have been Good Night, Mommy. Yeah, it was Good Night, Mommy from 2014. That's the one. That's another one of is it in their head or is it real? It's Good Night, Mommy. Yeah, creepy, creepy movie. I heard there was a remake of it. I didn't watch. I'm tapped out on American remakes. But what I do have to do is take a short ad break and line up our next group of stories we're going to talk about, which is going to be about release dates, physical media, and I have a few stories from horror gaming. I don't know how many of you guys play horror video games, but that will be the next segment. Let me do this. Oh, the Babadook. Yeah, that's another good one. And if you the Babadook, another one. If you really like the Babadook, I would also check out Woman in the Yard. I feel like that would be a perfect double feature, the Babadook and the Woman in the Yard. But I will be back in just a moment. Let me do the ad break, and I'll set up the next portion of the show.
Now on with the show.
Welcome back. Okay. Let's get into Final Destinations having a good night, Doc Kaiju. I'm continuing on though. All right, so this is brought to us by Bloody Disgusting, also by John Squires, and this is they have it listed as home video, but it's basically streaming. I mean, if this was many years ago, this would be us announcing when something's coming to Blockbuster or whatever. But since most things are streaming now, I think that's what this one is about. I could be mistaken though. Let's get into it. Title is Final Destination Bloodlines comes home next week. Preview the mini deaths of Bloodlines now. After scaring up a franchise record $257 million at the worldwide box office, Final Destination Bloodlines is coming home to digital outlets in North America on June 17, 2025. Final Destination Bloodlines, the newest chapter in New Line Cinema's bloody franchise, which takes audiences back to the very beginning of death's twisted sense of justice, will be available to own on 4K UHD, Blu-ray, and DVD from online and physical retailers on July 22nd. Okay, so I was mistaken. This does belong under home video because it's talking about physical media release and not streaming. So my bad. Repeat that. It will be available to own. It will be available to own on 4K UHD, Blu-ray, and DVD from online and physical retailers on July 22nd. The New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures film is directed by Adam Stein and Zach Lipovsky. The screenplay is by Guy Busick and Laurie Evans Taylor, and the story is by John Watts and Guy Busick and Laurie Evans Taylor, based on characters created by Jeffrey Reddick. Final Destination Bloodline stars Caitlin Santawana, Teo Briones, Richard Harmon, Owen Patrick Joyner, Anna Lohr, Raya Kilstedt, Breck Basinger, and Tony Todd. The box office hit Plagued by a Violent Recurring Nightmare. Let me rephrase that. In the box office hit, Plagued by a Violent Recurring Nightmare, college student Stephanie heads home to track down the one person who might be able to break the cycle, her grandmother Iris, and save her family from the grisly demise that inevitably awaits them all. The home video special features include Death Becomes Them on the set of Final Destination Bloodlines featurette, The Many Deaths of Bloodlines featurette, The Legacy of Bloodworth featurette, which is good because that means that there's a special segment that is dedicated to Tony Todd's character of Bloodworth. I really like that. So again, that segment is called The Legacy of Bloodworth featurette. Director's commentary, Adam Stein and Zach Lipovsky. While you wait, you can preview the Many Deaths of Bloodlines featurette below, which takes you behind the scenes for a look of the most gruesome Final Destination deaths yet. This clip from the larger featurette spotlights the epic collapse of the Skyview restaurant that kicks off Final Destination Bloodlines, a blend of digital effects and crazy practical stunt work. You know what? Let's check out that featurette. Let me do this so we can... Not me clicking on the wrong thing. Here we go. There we go. So now we can check out the featurette. I didn't realize they would have a snippet of the featurette on here, but let's check it out.
You can tell they put so much time into planning every little piece of it that it's kind of like walking into a play that's already been choreographed for you.
One of the great pleasures of making this film was working with Rachel, our production designer.
Rachel Toole did
I am interested in seeing how much of this is practical and how much of it is CGI.
amazing job creating the Skyview set.
She really brought an incredible eye of design, but also a love of the franchise. One of the key ideas that we all fell in love with was this idea that circles kill. The Skyview itself is round. The dance floor is round. Iris's pupil, her iris, is round.
The penny that kills them all.
You can just see almost every scene that
That's very interesting that they went with that a motif of one shape.
motif is created as a way of showing that death is coming for you.
The 60s stuff was tons of fun to do. And then you...
Oh, you know what? They should do a featurette on the costume design too, because that was really good. If you've seen the beginning of Final Destination Bloodlines that takes place in the 60s, I think they really nailed the costume design.
Figuring out how you're going to do all the stunts, what's going to be required, and how that's all going to come together. And we had 10 dresses, 5 for her and 5 for her stunt double.
There we go.
Then also had different stages of breakdown that kind of go from a first set to a more intense set to being ripped and singed and ultimately bloody.
Okay.
This set that we're standing in front of has 14 people falling to the ground countless times.
No, I literally thought that they used CGI for that. I mean, clearly they're going to use blue green screen on this, but I really thought that the whole sequence, I just, my mind just wouldn't let me believe that it was done practically. But that is really cool. The way, watch how they have the people dangling. See the people dangling there, and the camera that's on this, is that a jib? Hopefully I'm not using the wrong term. It might be a crane.
This set that we're standing in front of has 14 people.
Yeah, look at the people on. I really didn't think they would do this. Like they would just, okay. This is making me have a new level or so. I already like the movie. I believe I said so in my review, but I'm really surprised at the detail they went to. Tony Man says the MRI machine, the spring from the vending machine were circles. Yeah. Yeah, there was lots of circles in this movie. Yeah. But that is really cool.
Falling to the ground countless times. And the
Shout out to the stunt people, by the way. They don't get enough credit. They deserve a lot of credit. Shout out to them.
tilted set has 20 lines.
They had a tilted set. Hold on. Let me come back. Ah. Wow. When you're watching the movie, everything happens so fast, you don't really get to really see all the details because it's happening so fast. But wow. This is cool.
As 20 lines to hover our performers above glass.
We worked with our stunt team to ensure that we could lay them all on the glass without them prematurely breaking the glass. And then...
Oh, wow.
I don't think we've ever dropped 20 people all in one shot at one time.
I wouldn't see that again.
We've ever dropped 20 people.
Surely breaking the glass. And then...
How did they break the glass, though? Maybe they used like some type of mechanism?
I don't think we've ever dropped 20 people all in one shot at one time.
I respect that. What do you guys think? I like that a lot. I was not expecting that to be practical. I really did not expect it to be practical effects at all. Okay. Now since we're talking about physical media, let me see. I don't think there's any clips of a featurette. There is a little bit of clip here for the next one. Okay, cool. This one I'm extremely excited about because the movie launched for so many years, and I didn't get a chance to talk about this last week because I ran over time, and I actually had meant to talk about this last week, but I kept it on the docket so that I can bring it up today. This is also from Bloody Disgusting, written by Alex DiVincenzo. Michael Mann's The Keep gets limited edition 4K UHD release with cross replica from Imprint Films. I'm very excited about this because all I have is I have a copy of The Keep on VHS taped off of HBO in the 90s. Like that's what I have. And it's great to see that it finally got a 4K release. I want to say that the score for The Keep is by Tangerine Dream, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe I'm the only person excited about The Keep. Y'all let me know if you've seen The Keep or if you feel the same type of way I feel about it. It's very underrated, in my opinion. I do know that the movie did not turn out the way they intended for it to turn out. I don't know whether it was producer interference. I can't recall what the reasoning was. And for a long time, they were not releasing it at all on physical media. So it's pretty cool that they have released The Keep finally. I would like to see a director's cut, just out of curiosity. Tony Man says, that was cool and even more impressive. Yes. Fomiki Laddie says, I'd be scared of the glass. I heard that some forms of fake glass hurts more than others. Interesting. That makes me fear it too. Okay, so let's see what we're going to get on this 4K UHD release. Okay, Australia's Imprint Films is releasing The Keep in limited edition that includes the film on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray, a new feature-length documentary, and a soundtrack CD. Oh, okay. Comes with a CD, the soundtrack. That's good. Right? What? I'm sorry. Holy. Priced at $199.95 Australian money, approximately 130 USD, $130. It's due out on September 10th. Man, 130 bucks. Oh, tripping. Written and directed by Michael Mann, who also did Heat and Manhunter. In 1983, supernatural horror film has been restored in 4K from the original 35mm negative, presented with Dolby Vision and HDR10. Nestled in the front cover, the premium hardbox with, let me see if there's an image of the of what we get here. There it is. That's what it looks like. Okay, here, nestled in the front cover, the premium hardbox with spot gloss and foil stamping is a removable replica cross reproduced in zinc alloy from the original cross taken from the set of the film. Oh, that's why it's so expensive. This doesn't look like it's removable, though. The way this looks, maybe it's just the image of it, but it's supposed to be removable. Let me see. Tormian says, I get the keep and the gate confused. I saw the movie with the little creatures. That's the gate. The keep has one big creature. This is him up here. This is the creature from the keep. This is what he looks like. And it takes place during World War II. I'll have to show it to you sometime. JJ says, Jesus Christ. Joseph Schenkenfelder is here. Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let me continue telling you what the physical media release comes with. I'll repeat the last part. Nestled in the front cover, the premium hardbox with spot gloss and foil stamping is a removable replica cross reproduced in zinc alloy from an original cross taken from the set of the film. Disc 1 is a 4K UHD, Dolby Vision and HDR10 presentation of the 96-minute theatrical cut on 4K UHD restored from the original 35mm negative. Audio commentary by film historians Troy Haworth, Eugenio Ercolani, and Nathaniel Thompson, which is new. Audio commentary with documentarian Stuart Buck, art director Alan Tompkins, and photographer Graham Atwood. Audio commentary by Paul F. Wilson, which, if I'm not mistaken, he wrote the book, right? Let me see here. Hold on, I have the book behind me of the keep. I don't have the pretty cover for it because I got it secondhand, but there it is. That's The Keep. Paul F. Wilson. Put that right there. Okay, so where was I? Audio commentary by F. Paul Wilson. Did I say Paul F. Wilson? I meant F. Paul Wilson. David Shaw and Doug Winter. Audio commentary with cast and crew members utilizing interview audio from a World War II fairy tale archive, the theatrical trailer. The audio is in English, LPCM 2.0 stereo. Now, disc 2 is the Blu-ray. It's in 1080p, high definition presentation with a 96-minute theatrical cut, also on Blu-ray. There's an alternate score. I know a lot of people don't know this, but this movie has two scores. One score is by Tangerine Dream. The other score, I think, is by I can't recall the composer, but it's like a regular theatrical composed score as opposed to Tangerine Dream's more synth pop score. Tonyman says, yeah, never saw it. I'll have to show it to you. JJ says, wait, you said Michael Mann. He is a legend. Miami Vice is the best. Yes, he is a legend, and Miami Vice is an amazing show. I cannot talk to you enough about. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but Miami Vice is one of my favorite shows for just showing the beauty that is Miami, the everything about the show, the locations, the cars, the clothes. Which, by the way, Philip Michael Thomas was often outfitted by Armani. Like it's just a moment. And all of the people who got their start on Miami Vice as small characters, like a store clerk, kids running from the police #3. Like so many people have gotten their first role on Miami Vice. You just go back and it's like a who's who of famous people starting. I can't speak enough on it, but yes, Michael Mann is that dude. Okay, now where was I? I said alternate score. Yeah, because there's two scores for this movie. Audio commentary by film historians, the same ones from the other Yeah, it has the same the regular DVD has the same audio commentaries as the what was the first one? 4K? Yeah, disc 1 is 4K, disc 2 is Blu-ray. My bad. So it comes with 2 discs, 4K and Blu-ray. They both have the same commentaries on them. Okay, on the Blu-ray, there is the Making of the Keep featurette from the Electric Theater Show from 1983. There's on the set of the Keep featurette from the Electric Theater Show 1983. An Evil Most Ancient, the makeup effects of the Keep. Interview with prosthetics artist Nick Maley. See, now that's some stuff I'm interested in. I like seeing stuff like that. Something is Murdering My Men, Writing the Keep. Interview with author F. Paul Wilson. Other Sounds for Other Worlds, the music of the Keep. Interview with Tangerine Dream composer Johannes Schmoling. Or it's probably Johannes. It's probably Johannes Schmoling. Okay. Out of the Darkness, Producing the Keep. Interview with producer Gene Kirkwood, which is just recorded in 2024. That's a new edition. Recover the Mindset, video essay by Blake Howard. Gallery with never before seen behind the scenes photos from the archives of Stuart Buck, Stephanie Pitter, and Alex I can't say it, Kuciw. Kuciw. I'm unsure how to pronounce this. I apologize. And never before seen behind the scenes photos from the BFI archives. Alternative ending from TV version, standard definition, theatrical trailer, VHS trailer, radio spot, and audio, English LPCM 2.0 stereo. Now there's a disc 3 and a disc 4 on this. I won't repeat the things that are also on the former disc. So in addition, on the third disc Blu-ray is War Man, Man of War, interview with actor Jurgen Prochnow. Into the Darkness, On Location in Wales featurette. The Mystery of the Keep featurette. My Keep, Passion and Desires, interview with a World War II fairy tale co-director / producer Stephanie Pitter. There's a teaser trailer and the audio is in English again. And disc 4 has the original soundtrack composed by Tangerine Dream, who also did Risky Business and Legend. Their score for Legend was very interesting. Also included is an 80-page hardcover book with photographs, original production material, new essays by Tim Palin, David Michael Brown, and William Grant, and a 1984 Fangoria article. There's a 27 by 40-inch full-color matte laminated print of the original poster, a 5-issue The Keep comic series by F. Paul Wilson and Matthew Smith reprint, a 1983 press kit reproduction, 1983 lobby cards reproduction, first draft script reprint, 3D lenticular hard case, and a transparent PVC display case with anti-scratch film lamination. All right. Set during World War II, German soldiers take over an ancient Romanian fortress and unknowingly unleash an evil supernatural force that only a mysterious stranger can stop. Based on the 1981 novel of the same name by F. Paul Wilson, The Keep stars Scott Glenn, Gabriel Byrne, Jurgen Prochnow, Alberta Watson, and Ian McClellan. And there is a little video that they have included. Let me see what it is. Look at all this stuff here. Now I'm getting the $130 price because in Ultra Dolby. Limited edition cross replica that comes out of the box. There's the 4 discs. Includes the 96-minute theatrical cut, plus a treasure trove of special features, including 4 audio commentaries.
What can you tell us about the Keep?
There's 108 such crosses made of nickel embedded in the walls of the Keep.
All that we are is coming out. Here in this Keep.
He is being released.
This looks really sharp.
To the Keep for interrogation.
You have infected millions with your twisted fantasies.
And you are the same evil as outside this place. Never touch the process.
Wow, they took their time to really sharpen this. I mean, like I said, I only had the VHS, so I've been watching it blurry this whole time.
This place was not designed to keep something out.
I feel like I should show you guys the original trailer, because these scenes, out of context, you're not going to know what the heck they're talking about. You're going to be like, what the heck is that? If you are unfamiliar with the Keep. So what I'm going to do is, let me do this, because it's hard to describe why or what this movie is about. I should describe it a little bit anyways. It is about a person. I don't know whether he's investigating or how he comes to be near the Keep, but the Keep has been kind of commandeered by German soldiers, and they are trying to use it as a base. But the issue is that there's a creature in it. I see. Part of me doesn't want to spoil it because I feel like that's a great reveal when you see. Let's see if the trailer spoils it. Because I kind of already spoiled it by telling you there's a creature in it, but okay, the theatrical trailer is about to something. I'll play this one. It's the original 1983 theatrical trailer. Let's make sure this. Let me skip the ad. I don't have YouTube Premium, unfortunately. So let me skip the ad. I got to let it count down from 20 seconds. So while that's counting down, do like this. Now we're at 8 seconds. And I skip the ad in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, here we go. Paramount. Shout out to Paramount. You know what else? It would be interesting to see this in widescreen format. I don't think I've ever seen it in widescreen format. Now that I'm thinking about it, because my VHS looks like this.
What is this place? No one knows for sure.
And as you can see, it's, the time period, World War II. They're in a village.
Anything out? This place was built to keep something.
Exactly. It wasn't built to keep people out. It was built to keep something in.
Something has been released. Something.
Did you find what you were looking for? Did you expect to find me?
Whatever kills us gets in anyway. Nothing we do, no security works.
The men get taken out one by one, which is kind of cool.
What's happening to me?
The Keep.
I was going to say, this trailer doesn't explain a whole lot. It's kind of super vague.
Presented in 70mm and 6-track Dolby Stereo.
Oh, I didn't know it was 70mm.
The Keep. Coming soon from Paramount Pictures.
Man, seeing that on regular TV is just like kind of messed up. Because I'm talking about seeing it in the 80s on regular television. They used to play it on HBO, and changing the aspect ratio of a 70mm film seems like it's a crime. that seems messed up. I'm sorry, but okay, let me stop, because I feel like no one is excited about this as me. There's like no one even commenting on it, but we'll get into what do I have next. Let me close this out, because we're nearing the end of the show anyways. I have some gaming news, so we'll go through that kind of quickly, and then I'll call it a night until Friday. I'll be back here Friday. Let me just make sure there's no video. Yeah, so I'll just do like this. Okay, so this is from Fangoria, and it's about some new video game releases in horror gaming. This is written by George Yang. Supermassive Games' Directive 8020 is a big step up. The studio behind Until Dawn and Little Nightmares returns with a space horror. We got our hands on a demo and spoke with executive producer Dan McDonald. So what do you guys think of this imagery right here? That looks kind of reminds you of The Thing. Doesn't that look like The Thing? Something that would be from The Thing? Or something more recent. What was that? Oh, why can't I remember the name of this movie? I remember it had like these slug creatures, and this woman, she was in a barn, and she was like blown up, like bigger than the Blueberry Girl in Willy Wonka, and she was like, I don't feel so good, and then she exploded and all the slugs went everywhere. What is the name of that movie? I cannot recall the name of it, and I can see the imagery in it, but I can't recall the name of it. But this imagery kind of reminds me of that movie alongside The Thing. Oh, I forgot to take down that banner. So I'm not talking about Predator anymore. So that doesn't need to. All right, Tony Man says, yeah, it doesn't seem interesting. Will I be bored with The Keep? With you, because it's a slow burn, and you typically do not like slow burn so much, so maybe you might be, or you might be into the war story of it, because it starts off as a war drama that feels very ethereal and dreamlike until the reveal comes that there is a creature in the movie. Is that a video game still? It looks real. Yes, this is a video game still. The British game studio Supermassive Games made its mark in the horror genre with the fantastic Until Dawn back in 2015. Since then, it has continued in the interactive medium with games like The Quarry, and expanded with the platformer Little Nightmares in 2019. Supermassive debuted the Dark Pictures Anthology, a series of smaller Until Dawn-like games with a new entry every year. In these interactive games, players must make choices like a choose-your-own-adventure novel that will impact the character's fates, and the ultimate goal is to get them all out alive. However, the last entry, The Devil in Me, was released back in 2022, and that was the end of its season 1. Now, the Dark Pictures is back and kicking off its second season with the space horror-themed Directive 8020. We played a 20-minute demo of Directive 8020 and spoke with the executive producer, Dan McDonald, about why it took so long for the next Dark Pictures game to come out, as well as their future plans for the series. Directive 8020 takes place on a space colony ship called the Cassiopeia, which crash lands on the planet Tau Ceti F. Its 5 surviving characters, including Brianna Young, played by Lashana Lynch, from The Children of Blood and Bone and The Marvels, wake up early from hypersleep and must escape from a hostile alien entity invading the ship. Let's see here. The demo starts with a cutscene that takes place 2 days before the Cassiopeia's launch, with Brianna and the ship's commander Nolan Stafford. They reminisce about Brianna's father Bill before making a toast to his memory. The demo then fast forwards to 4 years later when the surviving Cassiopeia crew is in the middle of escaping from the alien. This is where I got a true sense of what a step-up Directive 8020 was from the previous Dark Pictures games. I played as Joseph Kiernan, the ship's technical engineer, as he tried to escape from the monstrous alien. It has the ability to mimic anyone on the crew, but as it was tracking down Joseph, it transformed into a grotesque creature. Now look how real this game looks. Aside from this image of the creature, these pictures look like they would be from a movie, but this is the game. This is one of the characters, Nolan Stafford. There's another picture here of a character, Joseph Kiernan. Like, this looks so like realistic the way this is done. Okay, Tony Mine says probably for PS5, not 4. I would assume, or it could be Xbox. It hasn't listed which game is compatible with yet. Jasmine Couture is here. Hi, Jasmine. She says, I was having trouble writing here, but I think you're talking about the movie Slither by James Gunn. Yes, that's the one, Jasmine. Thank you. I could not remember the name of it for the life of me, but this creature up here was reminding me of what the character in Slither kind of turned into. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. It's the one with the woman in the barn. Yes, that's the one. Thank you so much. Tony Man says they already had a space horror game called Dead Space 1 and 2. I'd give this a shot if it's on PS4. I will continue reading and see if they say what game system it's for. Okay. My goal was to reach a ladder on a ship, so I had to sneak through some hallways while avoiding the alien. The game felt much more involved this time around, and this stealth section felt like I was playing Alien Isolation. Previous Dark Pictures games didn't offer this level of control, and it played out more like a movie rather than an actual video game. While these mechanics aren't revolutionary, it does help modernize Directive 8020. McDonald listed Resident Evil, The Last of Us, and Uncharted as gameplay inspirations. One of the things we've been trying to do for a long time is to have threat and horror in exploration, he explained. It's not just in the cutscene sequence where it can kill you. It can find you in any of these spaces and kill you. You've got ways of getting around it and hiding. To facilitate that, you need to make the movement controls different and better. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to escape the alien completely unscathed. While I made it to the ladder, I accidentally pressed the wrong choice on the quick time event. These are high-pressure moments that give players a limited time to press the correct button on the control to escape a situation. Joseph ended up getting a cut from the monster, although he managed to escape, and that consequence would be reflected in my playthrough going forward. Although at this point I didn't know what else the mimic monster could do. Could it infect people through their bloodstream? If so, what would happen to Joseph later on, since my failure caused him to get hurt? That's the beauty of these kinds of games. Seemingly small events could end up having a bigger impact down the line. After narrowly escaping the alien, Joseph reconvened with Nolan, and they met up with the rest of the crew to warn them that the alien could shapeshift into anybody. That's very much giving the thing. This was as William, the ship's captain, was going through a decontamination process. Joseph and Nolan thought that William would be a mimic, or could be a mimic, and I was ultimately given the decision of whether to shoot William. After what I went through with Joseph, I ended up doing so. Unfortunately, William ended up being the real deal, and I had just killed an innocent man, which would again dramatically alter my playthrough. After I finished the demo, McDonald spoke to me about the new Turning Points feature, which allows players to return to previous points in the story to replay them and make different decisions. This marked a dramatic shift from previous Dark Pictures games. Before, once you made a decision, the game would automatically save and you couldn't go back. With Turning Points, you could freely do so. This is greatly appreciated, as now I wouldn't have to start a completely fresh playthrough in order to see all of the different branches the story could take. And there's a few more images of the playthrough on here. Let's see. Is that gonna load? I think I'm up too high. There it is. That's the image I was looking for. It says turning point, choose carefully. All right. Overall, Directive 8020 feels like a step in the right direction for the series, and the 3-year gap between The Devil in Me's release is evident. Our original ambition was actually to make a game every 6 months. 6 months is a crazy time, but every time we finish a game, we try to do an absolute load of user testing, McDonald's explained. Supermassive scoured the internet for fan opinions and compiled all of the press reviews to implement feedback for future games. However, it seemed the 6-month turnaround eventually became untenable. We wanted to take a bit more time for this one, really give it as much time and attention as we believed it deserved. It's a massive step forward for us. It's on Unreal Engine 5 now, rather than the previous iteration, he said. We've thrown away all of the exploration mechanics, the movement, the animations, and the systems underneath that we'd progressed a long way with The Devil in Me and started again based on our learnings. Directive 8020 also marks the first step for Supermassive in terms of having more control over its games and self-publishing. The previous Dark Pictures games were published by Bandai Namco. They've been a fantastic partner for us. We're still very good friends with them, he explained. In fact, we as a company are still working with them right now on the latest Little Nightmares game, so we're still very close to them. Supermassive have also taken some additional steps in marketing this title. For example, the Dark Pictures Anthology subtitle has been dropped in favor of just calling the game Directive 8020. The subtitle change was made in part so that players would understand each game is a standalone entry and that they won't need to play the previous games to understand Directive 8020. There's another image here that's pretty cool. Okay, it says it's still part of the anthology. It's still a Dark Pictures game. We don't need to hammer that home anymore, McDonald's explained. We need Directive 8020 to breathe on its own. Directive 8020 launches on October 2nd for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. So that answers that question. It's definitely for PS5 or PC. If you have a strong gaming computer, or if you have built a strong gaming computer, this could be for you. That's one of the things I kind of wanted to do one day, is to build a strong gaming computer, because I wondered if I built a strong gaming computer, would it be better for streaming than my laptop? Because there are times when I'm trying to do things on stream and the laptop is just not fast enough, and I'm using a MacBook Pro, but I think a gaming PC might actually technically be faster to use. Foaming Key Lattes here says, I'm late, but I noticed that a rock formation in the trailer for the keep looks kind of like the face of the man with the gray eyes. Oh, I didn't notice that. I have to go back and check that out. Good catch. It'd probably be even more so evident if we watch the 4K restoration, because like I said, I've only seen it on VHS. So there's going to be lots of stuff. Know what's funny to watch in 4K? If you go back and watch the music video for Michael Jackson's Thriller, you can see so much detail in the video, especially when he's coming out of the theater and you can see like the posters behind him and everything on the walls. It's so much clearer in 4K. Tony Man says, I played Alien Isolation. It was great wearing headphones. It's tense because if you make any sound when the alien is around, you die. You even get the scanner gimmick from Aliens. It's crazy. Interesting. Okay, now let's get on. I have 2 more orders of business, and then we'll get out of here. Okay, so this one I will have to reshare because it looks like I've got trailers on here for us to watch, but these are game trailers, which I hope you enjoy, because I know I've been slacking on talking about horror games because I typically don't play a lot of horror games. I used to play Resident Evil. I used to play House of the Dead. That was a fun game to play. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. That was fun to play. I feel like there was another one that I used to play it was a point and shoot or first person shooter game where you kill zombies, but I can't recall the name of it. Anyways, this is by Fangoria, 5 horror video game trailers from Summer Game Fest. which happened just this past June 6th. This is written by Angel Melanson. Melanson. This is written by Angel. From Resident Evil Requiem to Ill, here are some upcoming titles we're excited about. Tony says, did you ever see the Friday the 13th game I sent you? You know what? I forgot to check it out. Can you please remind me about that? And I'll include it. I'll include a clip of the playthrough on Friday's show, because I'm going to come back Friday at 3 p.m. to do a second show for this week, because there's so much, and I unfortunately can't be up all night, so I've split this into 2 shows, also based off of how you guys voted. The majority of you voted for a show that would take place between 10 p.m. and midnight. Coming in second was 3 p.m. to 5, and then coming in third was also voting for more than one show a week. So I combined all 3 by providing both a late night show from 10 to midnight, a midday show from 3 to 5 p.m. on Fridays, and doing the 2 shows a week gives you more than once a week. I'm hoping eventually to maybe do 3 times a week, but right now I can only do 2 because I've got some other stuff going on. But hopefully it works out well for everyone. Let's get into these games. Okay. The big news out of Summer Game Fest was the Resident Evil Requiem reveal trailer and release date. After a bit of teasing, it seemed we weren't going to get a real update, but we were pleasantly surprised at the last minute. There were tons of exciting games revealed this afternoon, and we've rounded up the new horror video games we're most looking forward to, from first-person survival horror Ill to Jurassic World Evolution 3. Check out all the upcoming horror game trailers and release dates revealed during SGF. Okay, so we have here Resident Evil Requiem. The 9th title in the main Resident Evil series finally has a reveal trailer and release date. After a bit of teasing, Resident Evil fans won't have to wait much longer to enter the world of Resident Evil Requiem. And let's check out the trailer. These video games are like blowing my mind how realistic they look. Like they got to be using AI at this point. They got to be using AI to do these, because they just look too real.
Sir.
Or you think this is all just coding? I don't know if anybody has headphones on, but the sound is even really, really... Oh, we should definitely pause this and read this. Okay, investigation summary report, case ID, pending. Incident, 4th victim of unidentified disease. Oh, can we get that off the screen? Nope. Ah, shoot. I was trying to read that. Summary of incident. A deceased individual was discovered at an abandoned government office. Preliminary analysis suggests the deceased may be linked to a series. See, I knew they weren't going to tell us. For some reason, I knew they weren't going to tell us the whole thing, but it was close. I thought if I just let it go a little bit, it'll show us more. I can't get over how real this looks. For context, I'm old enough to remember Pong. I don't know if you guys remember the video game Pong. It was 2 lines and a dot. That's how old I am. So for me to see this kind of blows my Gen X mind. Like, we thought the graphics were tight when, let me think, when that first Lara Croft video. Oh, no. When Mortal Kombat dropped, we thought that the graphics were tight. This is, oh my God, this is on another level.
Grace. Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Oh,
never want to hear that. Yeah, you think she got enough work around her? Like, goddamn. Like this right here would cause me to go into like a doom spiral. Like this, just to work in this environment with all these things piled up around you, I couldn't do it. You can almost see the pores in his skin.
If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 2 days tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
All right. So the man says, not mine. I played a game called Red Dead Redemption, and horse is actually shit. You should play Resident Evil 7. You jump, trust me. The horse is shitting in a game is gross. Let's continue Resident Evil Requiem.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel.
Oh, she having flashbacks. PTSD?
That's where your mother was murdered.
Oh, yeah.
Alyssa.
This is a conflict of interest. You would never assign this to her because it's a conflict of interest. But go on.
Died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to...
This nigga really about to say, oh, you should get over... I'm sorry for my language. It's a natural reaction. You're really about to say she should be over it? Because I don't think that's not how trauma works. Dude, my dude, this is wrong. This is so wrong. This is unethical. It's just a game.
Face the past. Grace.
That's a realistic reaction. Oh shit.
What is this?
Stay close.
They're coming. I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for.
I don't want to play this game. I want to watch this movie. Have y'all ever noticed how all the Resident Evil games, like the stories in the games, have been consistently better than the movies? Why don't they just see when they make these Resident Evil movies, why don't they just follow the game? The stories in the games are so much better than the stories in the movies, and it's perplexing why it's like they're belligerently trying to not follow the games, and that's always bothered me.
Special one, the chosen one, Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Some of these things are starting to look similar, though. Is it me, or does this section remind you of The Last of Us? Let me know if this reminds people of The Last of Us as well.
Stay away from that!
All right, what do you guys think? Oh, Jasmine, I know it's Raccoon City. I'm just talking about the actual rendering. Kind of puts you in the frame of mind of The Last of Us. Like there's a similarity. It could be they could be done by the same artist. I don't know, but that's why I was thinking that. But what do you guys think of Resident Evil Requiem? Looks interesting. We have now Jurassic World Evolution 3. And they say, we hate to see a free-range dino coming. The Jurassic World Evolution games allow Jurassic World fans to build their own parks around the world. Jurassic World, why would you want to do that? what is it that Jeff Goldblum said? You were so invested, and if you could, you didn't stop to think if you should. It was something like that. Okay, let me start again. The Jurassic World. Oh, here we go. Tony Man says, I'll play it. I've played 7 of them. The Jurassic World Evolution games allow Jurassic World fans to build their own parks around the world. Jurassic World Evolution 3 introduces powerful new creative options, and for the first time introduces juvenile dinosaurs into the mix. This gives players the opportunity to raise generations of dinos. Jurassic World Evolution 3 will be released on October 21st and is available to pre-order now on Steam, Epic Games Store, PlayStation Store, and Xbox Store. So let's check out the trailer for that.
We altered.
Notice the timing. They're timing this to align with the next Jurassic World movie as well.
The course of nature.
Looks
Unleashed
nice and clear.
genetic power across continents.
Is Jeff Goldblum his voice in the games too? I didn't know that. I've never played a Jurassic Park game.
Now it is up to us to nurture what we have set free, to find hope within this chaos. Well, to help life.
Look at the cherry blossom trees. Do you see them? These pink cherry blossom trees. I think that's a nice touch.
Find a way.
It's kind of like Sim City with dinosaurs. My question is, do you get to play as the dinosaur? Because that I can see potentially being fun, especially the dinosaur that just yeeted that Jeep off the side of the cliff there. I would love to play as the dinosaur. Fominky Latte says, could never play any Resident Evil game. Scares me too much. Tonyman says, no, now this I won't play. I want blood and guts in my games. I don't want to have the responsibility to raise dinosaurs. Tonyman says, oh, Fo, you're such a wuss. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's continue. Okay, so people can pre-order. Are these still on actual physical media? Excuse me. Because I prefer that games be on physical media so that people can keep them for whenever they want them, as opposed to the downloadable games, or the games that you have to pay like a subscription fee to. Okay, so next we have Ill, which already I kind of like the title. It's a first-person action horror game that takes players into a dark fort overtaken by a mysterious entity. Monsters and a visceral dismemberment system have us pretty intrigued. There's also just something about a naked zombie-like creature doing a backbend that strikes fear into our hearts. This looks gritty as hell, and the horrifying zombie is giving us Dead Alive vibes. Oh, see, now you have my attention because I love Dead Alive and I love the Zombie Baby. Minus the cute striped jammies. Add Ill to your wish list now. Oh, titular heroine is in the house. What's up? She says, who among us wouldn't give this all up to be a dinosaur? Yeah. Someone says, some are. Most of you download to your home HD. Okay. Let's check out the trailer for Ill. Online. There we go. Moneyfish Powerhouse. Aim clouds. Oh, I like that. Geez. Already of the three, I think this is my favorite game. or game trailer. Let me rephrase that. of the 3 already, 17 seconds in, and this is my favorite game trailer that we've seen just yet. Yeah, that, you know, I like gooey stuff. Let me see. Titular Hair says, just waking up from a nap. Hi, how are you? We got naked monsters running around in this game. And you got the shoddy. Oh wow. Yeah, that's not a situation that's winnable. You see this right here? This is a revolver that has 6 shots, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't even have enough shots in this revolver to save you from all of this. That's kind of an unwinnable situation, unless there's like propane or something in this canister right here, and you shoot that canister. But that would take everybody out in the room, including you. So I don't know how you would win in this situation. Oh, that looks amazing. My thing is, why are these creatures clothingless? Like, there's transforming into these zombie-like creatures, like before you become a zombie, does your body temperature spike and you just start taking all your clothes off and then you become a naked zombie? Like, I'm not understanding. And is this a mech suit that's over here? Like, is this taking place in the near future? I have questions. Or is that a robot? I don't know. I have questions, but this ill game looks, as we would say in the 80s, it looks ill. Oh, that's good. The headshot. Yeah, what did you guys think of ill? Oh, there's more. There's more. There's the baby. I think that's the zombie baby. Oh, you just kicked. Did he just kick the baby? Let me see that again. Yep. Kick the baby. Oh yeah, if you can kick a zombie baby, I'm here for this game. Oh my gosh. And I haven't played games in a long time, but this one I would play. Tony Man says, I definitely play this one. Faux Mickey Latte says, playing games like that gives me anxiety. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Tony Man says, sorry to hear that, Faux. JJ says, you are pulling a Dr. Loomis. Yes, I am. I shot him 6 times. Michael. All right, what else do we have here? What else do we have? Dying Light the Beast. Dying Light hero Kyle Crane returns to battle the Baron and a whole bunch of zombies in Dying Light the Beast. Brutal first-person hand-to-hand combat and lots of parkour. Dying Light the Beast will be available on PC, Steam, and Epic Games Store, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series XS. So let's check out Dying Light the Beast. What is this? Tony Man is saying he did that labyrinth thing. What's the labyrinth thing? I'm not understanding the context. Again, with the gorgeous graphics. Oh, I should have mentioned with Ill. Ill does not have the best graphics in the world compared to the first 3 trailers we watched, but it had the gameplay that I was interested in. So sometimes you don't have to be, the most HD, beautifully rendered, if I can kick a zombie baby. Okay, back to this.
What can you tell me about the Baron?
He's a narcissistic sociopath. He's experimenting on humans like they're lab rats.
Oh, okay. Now we got something here. Let me get this out. I hate how that pops up when you pause. Oh, Tony Man is saying, "Kick that." You're quoting Dance Magic from Labyrinth, and the line is, "Slap that baby, make him bleed." That's Dance Magic from Labyrinth, the song. Yes. And by the way, if you try to listen to Dance Magic on Spotify, they changed the lyric. It no longer says "smack that baby, make him bleed," because I guess that's problematic now. In the 80s, I guess it wasn't, but yeah, it's a Goblin King. He's not supposed to be a good guy. Anyways, back to this trailer. This looks good. Can you get him with the shotty? And why are all the zombies shirtless now? You know what? I just answered my own question in my head. It's because it's probably more fun for the artist to draw their bodies in a what's the word I'm looking for? Decomposed manner. That's probably more fun to render than clothing that's just torn up. A decomposing body is probably more fun to render.
God only knows what the Baron's planning to do with those monsters.
The sound is good on it. Okay. So that's showing you can change your view from first person to I forgot what you call the other type of view. Wait, what did Tony Man say? Plus zombie titties. Okay, I don't think I my mind registered that, but okay. They didn't show that in the trailer, did they? Because I don't want to get dinged.
I don't care how high his walls are, how big his army is. That fucker will pay for what he did to me. All the years he took from me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
Ooh, you get a flamethrower? You could do a flamethrower. I'm here for the flamethrower. Thank you, Tony Man. I couldn't find the words. From first person to third person. Thank you. Titular Heroine says, what was the first movie game? Whatever that had running zombies instead of the shuffling. If you're talking about what I played tonight, I think it was it Resident Evil? I can scroll up and see. What was the first one? Yeah, it was Resident Evil. Resident Evil Requiem was the first one, was the first game. Then it was Jurassic World Evolution, then Ill, and now we're on Dying Light the Beast, which looks pretty good. I've not heard of this game before. This looks pretty good. Especially if you get to use a flamethrower. You just messed up some zombie creatures. August 22nd, 2025. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that.
Kyle, E&F is an old chemical factory south of the city. The Baron's men operate out of there.
Then I'll go there and fucking kill him.
All right. And of course, these are all, rated in for mature. Except for I don't think the Jurassic World game is. I don't think the Jurassic World game was rated for mature. And our last one is Fractured Blooms. Described during Summer Game Fest as Doki Doki Literature Club meets Silent Hill. Let me say that again. Described during Summer Game Fest as Doki Doki Literature Club meets Silent Hill. Fractured Blooms looks creepy as hell. The synopsis sounds tame. And here's the synopsis. Restore your neglected house to its former glory by growing crops, cooking delicious meals, learning new recipes, and taking care of its inhabitants. In this psychological life simulation. Well, it says sim, but I think that's short for simulation. But don't be fooled. I started to question this one about 40 seconds in when I thought I misread plates of her legs. And then it seemed to descend further into madness from there. Consider our curiosity piqued. Watch the trailer below. All right, so this sounds interesting. And I'm not familiar with this at all. Fractured Blooms. Inspired by a true story? Yeah, it starts out looking cutesy. The lady is, her eye is bleeding, but she's gardening.
The front of the dinner table where you used to be.
Okay, they're doing things with the audio where it's like layered, and it's I think it's meant to be unsettling. It is giving a little bit of a anxious feel to it, so that's not a mistake. I think that's on purpose. So let's continue this.
Plates of food. Plates of tomatoes. Plates of hay.
Plates of
Plates of angels. Plates of her legs. Beautiful. Broken.
Okay.
Plates
going
of
dark.
flowers. Plates. The garden is lovely.
I'm sorry when it feels like what the hell, what the helliana, what the helliance, what the helly berry. This is going really, really dark. But okay, let's see where this goes.
Wash in the rain. Dinner's ready. There's a hunger that feeds and blooms, and I will feed, and I will bloom.
Okay, I don't know what I just watched. What kind of game is this? Who has played something like this? I have no idea. Like, what is the object of the game? I just feel so uncomfortable right now. Bo Minky Latte says, I really like Doki Doki Literature Club. Titular Heroine says, that was intense. Yes, like I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for this game, and I'm grown. Like I'm grown, and I still feel like I'm too young to play this game. Tony Man says, I won't play this shit. Looks like a Cronenberg movie. No thanks. Yeah, it's giving Cronenberg. I should write this down and watch it. Well, can they show a playthrough on YouTube? It feels like it might be too extreme to even show a playthrough, but I have to look for it. When does this come out? Does it say? It's not saying the release date for Fractured Blooms, so it doesn't have a release date yet. So I'll have to wait for the release date. Let me just roll this back a pinch. Maybe it says the release date in the trailer. Okay, it says is this wish list or something now? Something list now on Steam. So maybe it's already available. And that's why there's not a date. Wish list now on stream. So does wish list mean that like you're like if you were on Netflix and how you have like a watch later list, is that what wish list is on Steam for like video games? Do you put it on like a list so that it notifies you when something is available to watch? I'm not familiar with that, but yeah, that was pretty intense. I feel like I need a blanket and a hug after watching that trailer. Wow. Why the horror games are giving us more than some of the movies as of late? That's wild. All right, and now, oh shoot, I went over time, big time. I meant to be out of here at 12:15. I got one more story, and it's not really a story. It's more of a product release, I guess you would say. Let me X out of there and add this to screen. Is there any video on this or just images? No, just images. Okay, so this last one is a new drop from NECA. And it is, this is courtesy of Bloody Disgusting, John Squires reporting. And it's NECA and Jason Universe join forces for upcoming collectibles. Tony Man also says he doesn't know. He never used Steam. Yeah. Okay, so multi-platform expansion of the Friday the 13th franchise from its original owners, the Jason universe officially launched with a brand new Jason Voorhees redesign earlier this year, which is pictured above. And that new version of Jason will soon be getting his own NECA toys. The NECA team has taken to social media today, Friday the 13th, to tease the upcoming collaboration with the Jason universe. Though we have no further details at this time, we can expect to see upcoming toys and collectibles based on the new Jason redesign in the coming months, which was created in partnership with makeup effects legend Greg Nicotero. Interesting that you went with Greg Nicotero and not Tom Savini, because Tom Savini worked on Friday, a couple Friday the 13th. Did Greg Nicotero work on more of them? I don't know why, but I always associate Tom Savini with Friday the 13th, as well as The Burning and The Prowler. He does great work. Did he also do? Yeah, Tom Savini also did Maniac, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, titular heroine. Maybe wishlist is like pre-order. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now where was I? We strive to maintain Jason's original essence while continuing to move toward the future with a defined look and feel that takes Jason into his next chapter. We're also working with both familiar and fresh franchise voices to strike the balance. Horror Inc. President Rob Barsamian said in a recent statement, "We gave Greg our new 13-hole mask, and I've never counted the holes in the mask. Are there less in this mask? It looks like there's less, but I've never counted the holes until they mentioned 13-hole mask. And work together on this full-body look that embodies classic Jason. He's a strong, towering, and terrifying slasher with a machete, his weapon of choice. It's incredibly exciting to bring Jason Voorhees back into the lives of fans in such a bold and fresh way as Friday the 13th LLC's Mark Tolberoff. We're thrilled to be working alongside Horror Inc. on this next chapter of the franchise and Jason's legacy, and we share their passion. Together, we're making sure this return delivers everything longtime fans have been craving while opening the door for an entirely new generation. The launching pad for the Jason universe will be Peacock's Crystal Lake, the upcoming prequel series starring Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees. But Horror Inc. Chief Marketing Officer Sherry Kahn promises their ambitions extend back to the big screen and beyond. Quote, "We are listening to fans and actively developing a slate under the Jason Universe banner that spans new movies, gaming, immersive experiences, collectibles, and more." Kahn teases, "Our film franchise is one of the most enduring horror properties in cinematic history, and we're actively reimagining what the next chapter and the slasher genre overall can become. Stay tuned for much more from the Jason universe real soon." I'm hearing that there's going to be a scare house at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal that's going to be based on the Jason universe as well. But yeah, so this is, did they give us any other pictures? No, that's the only picture of the figurine that they're coming out with. Do I have any NECA figurines? Let me see. Hang on a second. Will my cord reach? Let me see here. Let me look up here. I have some figurines that are slashers. I'm not sure whether I have Jason. Okay, I'm hitting the microphone like I always do. But let me go full screen, and I'll show you these before I get out of here because these are a lot of fun. Let's go here. All right, is this one NECA? Yes, this one is NECA. This is my creep show. That's how the front of the box looks. Angle it this way because the light is giving it glare. The back of the box looks like this, which is like a panel from Creep Show. Then there's also the artist rendering of I call it the Hag. It just says Ultimate Creep Show action figure, but I could get a look at it without so much glare. There we go. There's the face. It also comes with a small Creep Show comic book. I don't know whether you could see it. There it is. You see the little Peep Show comic book. The dress that it has on. It's pretty cool. It has a little Halloween pumpkin there. It's a really cool figure, but this is a NECA figure. Let me see. Who else do I have? Like I said, I don't have Jason, but I do have Michael. That's how the front looks. This is how the back looks. He comes with 3 different heads. You can see his different faces. His coveralls. He's got his little knife and his also Halloween pumpkin. Comes with different hands too. And at the bottom, yeah, he's got 4 different hands. The knife is up in the top corner. Let's see if I can angle it so where the light is not. It's kind of reflecting on the knife, but you can see the little knife on there. That one's cool. But I think my coolest that I have, I'm not sure if this is NECA. Yes, it is NECA. Candyman. Now the packaging is different. I wish it would have came in similar packaging, but it comes with 2 different faces. It has like Tony Todd's regular, and then it has the one with all the bees in the mouth, which is cool. And then it also comes with an extra chest plate. There's the chest plate that has the bees in it, so you can open his coat and put that one in. Of course, I've never opened any of these. Not until when I get like a proper display to put them in, maybe I'll open them. But for now, I'm not going to open them. But yeah, NECA has some pretty cool stuff. Oh, I should mention that I have some of these listed, including the old Jason, not this new one that NECA is coming out right now, but I have the old one on my my Amazon shop. I should mention that. I'm going to play the little my little ad for my Amazon. I'm not going to play the full ad. I'm just going to play the little Amazon part so you can see kind of what's on my Amazon shop, because I do have NECA things on there too. Yeah, right on there is where you can, rewind, pause it to see the QR code. But the ones that I want to get that I also have on there that you just saw in the ad are the 2 figurines from They Live. Those look really, really good. Let me see. JJ says, as Ralph would say, it's got a death curse. How come NECA doesn't make that? NECA needs to make a Ralph figurine with the bicycle. And they also need to make the figurine of the lady with the rollers from Friday Part 3. And part a part of me says in Part 4, Crispin Glover's character mid-dance. Yeah. Titular Heroine says, very cool figurines. Thank you. They're going up and up in price. It's getting ridiculous. Like some of these figurines, like, oh my God, you guys are killing us with the prices. Even with the magazines, I looked up today the price of Fangoria to get the physical copy of Fangoria. It's $18.99, like almost $20 for a magazine. That's wild. But as I see I'm coming up on almost 1 o'clock in the morning, I have to get out of here because I already went over by 30 minutes because I meant to get off here at 12:15. But I went over because I went on a bunch of tangents. But I thank you guys for coming through. Like I said, I will be back here on Friday from 3:15 to 5. I probably will run long again. No What We Watched Last Weekend podcast tomorrow because tomorrow is Juneteenth and we are resting and celebrating on Juneteenth. So no live stream tomorrow. And I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you so much for coming through. We had a good show tonight, a good time tonight. I'm always appreciative of the chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and you have a good night.